Hello, dreamers and explorers of fantastic worlds, and welcome to the Squid Speaks, episode 2. It's time for a book review. Yes, it rhymed. I enjoy doing that. Been planning that for days now. So, starting the book reviews with Alan Dean Foster's novelisation of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Love the movie. The book was fine, really. It was one I got when the movie came out, and then I started doing a master's, so I couldn't read it because I was so busy with all the other stuff. And then I finished the master's, so it was the first book I read, and I enjoyed it, but it could have been better. First few chapters, the point of view jumps crazily. Doesn't really add to anything. I didn't feel closer to the characters or anything like that, which is where I like novelizations, is if you can, it enhances the experience of the story. And it didn't really. You could tell it was written from a slightly earlier cut, to make it in time, make it to the presses, but in time to make it to the shelves at the same time as the movie, because there were a few things that clearly ended up on the cutting room floor, but yeah, even with them, you can see why they're on the cutting room floor. They didn't add a lot. There was just one, and spoiler alert, when in the duel between Rey and Kylo Ren, when the lightsaber goes to Rey instead of Kylo, he just looks at her and says, "It is you," confirming something that's just only hinted at very vaguely in the movies, that he knows who she is, or who her parents are, or at least one thereof. Let's say he knows who she is, because clearly he doesn't. But he suspects her origins, and the lightsaber proved it. And the next movie will answer that question, apparently, and the internet can stop tearing itself apart with theories. Before I move to the next book, little theory of my own on Snope. A lot of people going, "Ooh, he's Mace Windu," and "Oh no, he's the Emperor Palpatine." No, I think he's Snope. New character. Wow. Imagine. But yeah, we'll find out that too, I suppose. Now, the next book I read was The Lord of the Green Planet. Again, I had bought it just before I started my masters. It's an ace double. I'll talk about the second book next time I do one of these review casts. I bought it, and the other books that came with it. It was an eBay buy. 4 ace doubles, 1960s science fiction, and I bought them all because of the cover of this one book. As you can see, a woman riding a cat, and an astronaut looking scared. And I don't know, it's just a good picture. It's the picture's by Frank Frias Kelly, who, if you take nothing else out of this podcast, Google him and look at some of his pictures. He was a great artist at the time. Lovely use of color. And so I read it. It's kind of funny in a way, kind of sad in a way. So this planet, it's kind of locked off by this mysterious cloud. It's almost impossible to navigate. And this madman has created his own little world there, modelled on Irish mythology. It's got people thinking they're the Tuatha De Danann, and he's found alien species that he can pass off as Selkies and things like that, and kind of plays God. And there's a bit of an ethical discussion when the genuine Irishman who somehow makes it through the cloud into the planet. His spaceship is destroyed, so he's stuck there. Falls in love with the princess. Defeats the evil pretender to the throne, and then overthrows the would-be god. It's all a bit obvious and a little silly, and while it came out in 1964, the attitudes are so 1950s. It's painful. When he's escaped, they're hiding away in a cave, him and his princess, and she's heir apparent to this little kingdom, but she's run away to hide from the usurper. And he's appalled. He's like, "You can't cook." She says, "Of course I can cook," and she whips him up a meal. And that just kind of sums that up, really. That's other than that, it's sort of funny. The other book I'll mention was the ebook I was reading. So when I couldn't reading a proper book, a paperback or hardcover, I was reading my ebook, and it was the Voyage to Arcturus with David Lindsay, 1920s, actually 1920, I think. And it's one of those books. It's very interesting, very different. Not as unique as a lot of the Goodreads reviewers claim it to be, because clearly they haven't read certain other books. But it is very different still. But it is, as they say, they go to Arcturus, and he goes on a number of the main character. His name eludes me. And he goes through and he meets different characters in different places. It's one of those pilgrimage things where he learns different things, meaning and each place in Arcturus, the physicality changes almost with the morality of it. The whole book seems to look at the experience of perception and morals and and worldview. His worldview would change because he would have different perceptual organs, ways of perceiving things. There were different colors there because there were two suns in Arcturus, or on this planet in Arcturus, and one of the suns, the light, is created different colors that we don't have, and they would have emotional effects and effects on how you viewed the world and morality. And he's walking around, he's killing, and that's my dog. Don't worry about her. She's clearly concerned about something, but you know, that's her. Sorry about that. She'll be fine. So yeah, it's a bizarre book. I can't explain any more than that, other than just, if you've got a bit of time and you feel like having your mind bent around a bit, it's not that mind-bendy, but until you try to fully understand it, and then it's just, I don't know what I've read. If you like Donnie Darko, the kind of thing that it does to you, where you don't know in the end what happened, read Voyage to Arcturus. I'm not saying it's like Donnie Darko per se, but it has a similar effect of, I know something really interesting is going on, but I don't know what it is. And of course you can come up with your own theories, and you'll be right, and you'll also be wrong. It's the wonders of English and the wonders of fiction. But I'll stop off there for now. Next podcast I'll talk about something completely different. And I hope it was all good, and I will say, keep dreaming.